Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. How's it going? I'm William Van Roosmalen from Tempest Litigation Funders, and with me is Adam, Senior in-house counsel at Tempest. Today we want to talk to you about some different methods of enforcing securities and getting paid from judgment debt that you might have against certain debtors. We're going to cover off personal securities, attachment orders, and some other methods of enforcing judgments. So Adam, why don't you tell us a little bit about, firstly, what is one of the better ways that you can ensure that your chances of getting paid from a debt that is owed from someone personally are greatly increased?
Sure. Well, there's tons of laws. I mean, as you can see, there's
Lots of them.
Many law books, and there are some weird and wacky enforcement options and provisions that once you get judgment debt help you to get paid. Even before you get judgment, you can do other things like take security for repayment. So we'll just talk firstly about some of these general security deeds and arrangements. So most people know that if you have a debt, you can get security over a company or a company's assets or specific assets, so say a car or a digger or truck or whatever, but not many people know about personal security agreements and personal receivership. So this is something that we're seeing more often at the moment, and that's where a lender or someone that's owed money takes a security over someone's personal assets. So it could be anything they own personally, their cars, their boats, expensive furniture, artwork, bitcoins, anything personally owned. You can pledge as security to a lender, and then if you default, they have the right to come and appoint a personal receiver over yourself and your assets and recoup their money. Now that's quite a powerful and rarely used tool, but I think it's a really interesting thing to have in the toolbox when you're considering how to get paid. What else is there in terms of these strange enforcement mechanisms?
Yeah, so I suppose if you don't have the luxury of a security over debt that you are owed, then there's certain methods of enforcement that the courts allow us to use to try and recoup back some of that unsecured money. One of the better ways is if the debtor owns property that is leveraged. You can obtain a sale order and the bailiff will come in and sell the property, and you will be first or second paid out depending on the order of priorities. They can sell personal chattels as well. There's a couple of caveats to that, carve-outs for clothing and
so they let you keep some clothing. I think also a car of like a limited value. So, but this is all premised on the basis that you have a judgment debt. So you've gone to court,
for sure.
You've gone to the tribunal, it's the end of the process. So you have a judgment, you've done the work, and now you need to try and enforce it. A lot of people jump straight to bankruptcy and think, oh well, I'll just bankrupt them. But bankruptcy often doesn't get you very far, doesn't get you paid. No. It just gets you a little bit of maybe satisfaction that you've at least done something to try and, It's possibly the more principled approach. Sure. But at Tempest, we don't like to just bankrupt people for the sake of it and essentially just because we can. We really like to try and get money back. And how we do that is through these other enforcement methods. So we've just talked about the sale order. That's great if someone owns a property in their own name. It's not in a trust, because then the court can go and sell the property. But there's also other ways, like a charging order over their other properties, or perhaps an
attachment order.
That's just going to say that. So an attachment order that essentially, if someone's got wages or even a benefit or some kind of regular income stream, the court can actually put a certain amount per week that's deducted from that income and goes to repay your debt. So we use that quite a lot at Tempest. So it might not be full repayment up front, but at least it chips away over time and you get something, as opposed to potentially a bankruptcy, which you don't get a cent, most likely. I mean, because otherwise the official assignee's got to go and investigate and see if they can recover money, and a lot of the times they don't, and it just means that the debt's wiped, essentially wiped clean. Yeah,
I don't think the official assignee has a very good strike rate in terms of doing unsecured distributions to creditors.
I don't know about the details, but I've never seen in insolvency or in Tempest getting a distribution from the official assignee I've never seen that happen.
No.
It may happen in some cases where they make good recoveries, but again, it's not something that we've personally been involved with. What else? In terms of options, what else is there to try and get some money back?
You can bring the debtor before the court to examine them in front of a judge and say, hey, look, you asked this amount of money, you've told us that you can't pay, you put them under oath. The judge will probably have some questions of their own, and then I would imagine you would get into some sort of negotiation to try and settle the debt in terms of a repayment plan or something like that. The judge is not going to be very happy if you just try and walk out of there and say, actually, I haven't got donkey to give you. So,
well, often that can be a first step. So if you want to try and get a attachment order, you need to kind of know what you're attaching to. So you could do the examination first and then get the attachment order based on the information that you get from examination. But I mean, all of this sounds like a lot of work for the average company or person out there. So I mean, what Tempest does, we're able to take on the debt and buy it for a cents on the dollar or do a split recovery. We do the work in terms of getting the judgment against this third party, and then we can run through all those steps and do the whole horse and pony show and try and get a result. So I guess that's where we come in. If you don't have judgment debt and you're kind of struggling with a debt that you are about to write off or you think is too hard, talk to us first, because we can take it on, run through those steps and use all of those weird and unusual enforcement steps to try and get paid. So it's kind of what we do day in, day out. So if you have any kind of queries or debts, get in touch. The link will be in this video and you can reach out and we'll get back to you pretty quickly.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.